Um, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai, Bahasham Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere camp. And this is your brother Bawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai, Bahasham Racha Kwadash. All praises and glory is due. Yeah, so I'm just going to go right into it. And this website is snopes.com. Yeah, that old fact checking website, that was ultimately found out to have been false, right? It's not set up by Esau Edom in order to it's set up by Esau Edom in order to spread misinformation. But of course, what we are actually going into right here is one of the few facts they actually got right. Because in the classic way of Esau Edom, right, they bring out truth and they mix it with lies. And that's why you have them being so effective at deception. And it's actually very, very, it's actually very, very good that I'm using these snopes. Actually, that's the spirit right there. Because what I wanted to go into in this video is the way in which Esau Edom sets up his propaganda, right? And this is exactly what we're going into in this video of propaganda. And this is a article from 2022, right? So all the way back to even before Donald Trump became president, to show you how deep this whole thing goes, right? Because you are seeing currently how the these MAGA people are basically treating Donald Trump like some kind of messiah, right? Like some kind of chosen one, like an anointed. And that's exactly what has been happening for so long. That's why so many people are always saying that, oh, this MAGA is a cult, right? That, oh, these people are deranged, that they are worshipping Donald Trump, and that's exactly what is going on. So this is a article going into the a book that was written. There's a book called Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ, right? And when you say the Christ, that means the anointed. So basically, what this book is saying, and the author itself, if you read on down in the article, is saying that Donald Trump is the anointed, right? He was set up by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to quote unquote make America great again. Well, of course, they don't believe in the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They believe in God and JC. So he will tell you that he was set up by God and JC to quote unquote make America great again. Right, which of course he was set up by the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But there is no making America great, and there is definitely no making America great again, because Babylon the Great Babylon the Great. Even though we say Babylon the Great, it was never great. Okay, the greatness of Babylon the Great is not true greatness, but rather what it was great in wickedness, great in evil, and though that is not greatness, right? The wickedness that exists in Babylon the Great, the evil that exists, the great in Babylon the Great is not actual or true greatness. So let's keep going into it. A picture of a flyer showed the book title President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ, followed by the author's name, Helgard Muller. So this is probably, a German Edomite, and he wrote a whole book about how, or the greatness of Donald Trump. And let's see what this has to say. Okay, so author Helgard Muller said that he believes there are two Christs, right? Like I said, when you are talking about the Christ, you're talking about anointed, because that's what the word Christos, or Christ, goes back to. The etymology of the word is Christos, which means anointed. So he said that there are two Christs, with JC being the Son of God who was betrayed by Judas, and Trump being the Son of Man who was betrayed by former US Vice President Mike Pence. He also claimed that his book, President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ, was not satire. Okay. In September 2022, a Twitter user posted that flyers were available at a rally held for former US President Donald J. Trump that named him as the Son of Man and the Christ. It was true that the flyer showed the cover of a real published book from author Helgard Muller titled President Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ. Mueller confirmed us via the Messenger app that he personally handed the flyers out at the most recent Trump's rally in Youngstown, Ohio, which took place September 17th. Alright, so basically, what is he just going into? Is just confirming that this book actually exists. And what this book shows you, right, is the trust that so many of these people, mainly Edomites, but of course you do have some Jakes mixed in that, right? And even outside of America, Babylon the Great, in many parts of the world, especially here in West Africa, that's filled with Jakes. You have so much trust and so much belief in this dude, man, in this Edomite, right? And it's the same message that we give to Jakes in Babylon the Great that we give to our people that are in other parts of the world that also think that, this Donald Trump presidency is meant to be anything more than setting up and preparing for the and basically destroying Babylon the Great and preparing for the destruction of Babylon the Great, because as the scriptures say, they trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? Let's get that. Because you have like so many jakes that are living in different parts of the world that, oh, they believe in Trump. They were basically campaigning for Trump because you know the degenerate, because of basically mainly the degeneracy of um the liberal arm of Esau's of Babylon the Great government. But what a lot of you don't understand is that the both these conservatives, the right wing, the left wing, it's all part of the same bed. It's all part of this. They are all part of the same. It's just two sides of the same coin. They are all part of the same wicked system, and that wicked system prospers on the oppression of our people. So it doesn't matter if Trump comes out and says, oh, there are only two genders, or if he bans abortions, or if he closes down transgender bathrooms. Donald Trump is still a devil. Okay. So now, this is the book of Isaiah 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right, so you're looking at this dude, Donald Trump, and thinking that he is the Messiah, right? Whether consciously or subconsciously, because hey man, a lot of these jigs out here, man, they see Esau, Edom, they see the Most High, and this is an example of that. Like I said, what I was going into, that I'll also be going into propaganda as well, and this is one of those little things that Esau does that keeps him in power, right? That keeps him, you know, in power, that keeps him as being seen as the basically an angel of the light. After all, it's not written that Satan hideth himself or disguiseth himself as an angel of the light, right? It's books like this, movies like this, documentaries that they'll do, and set up these their Edomite leaders in a way that they look like they are chosen, right? Anointed by the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to do this or that. Even when it comes to wickedness, they'll say the same thing. Things like manifest destiny, that, oh, even these evil ass Edomites were anointed by the Most High to do that evil. But then the good Edomites, right? The American Edomites were anointed to fight against them and fight for freedom. But that never happened in World War II. The US did not fight against the Germans for freedom and justice of the American way, right? And you can simply look at the way in which our people, the Israelites, okay, because too many of you jakes are looking at the way Edomites are treated and thinking that, just because it says in Christianity that God loves everybody and you're all the children of God, that you think that now that the way an Edomite is being treated is the same way that you will be treated as well in this kingdom. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You are under the curses, and Esau, Edom, is your enemy. Yeah, even you jakes that look like Edomites, you understand, are not going to be treated the same way as a regular Edomite in this kingdom, because a lot of these Edomite looking dudes that are out here homeless, completely, homeless, poor, right? And things like that might even actually be Jake, and even with their Edomite pale skin, the blood showing forth through their skin, the curses are still whooping their ass, man, making them be in that impoverished position. And that's the point right there. That you Jakes, you still believe that this kingdom is made for you and that you can prosper and have some kind of hope in this kingdom. But it's little, you know, things like this. They wrote a book about how Donald Trump is the anointed, right? They'll make another documentary about, they'll make a movie about Oppenheimer and how he created the bomb that destroyed, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? They will make another story ultimately, a documentary about Napoleon and how he basically conquered the whole of Europe, right? And they'll make another documentary about Hitler and his campaign, because they do these little things in order to keep Edomite supremacy alive and keep their dominance alive and making it seem as though they are the greatest people on the earth. But that's not the fact, okay? That's not the truth, okay? Or make a documentary about the storming the beaches of Normandy and all those Edomites that went to. That's not what even happened, because majority of the effort was done by Jake, whether it's the Tuskegee Airmen or the Jake soldiers that were on the ground fighting against the Germans. Of course, it was Jake that was on the front lines, wasn't it? They always show Edomites storming the beaches of Normandy, but it was Jake that they sent out first, because you Jakes were cannon fodder at the time. But the point being is this, that you Israelites, okay, the position that you are going to be in this kingdom is the same position that Jake over there in America is, right? Because Jake is always talking about some, let me go to greener pastures, and they want to go to Babylon the Great, right? And because they see Donald Trump in office and they see that, oh, he is talking about his quote unquote Christian values, even though it's plantation Christianity, and that shows you just how deep the seat of Esau is on our people. So now Isaiah 30 verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and trust in the shadow of Egypt. And all you jigs that are always immigrating to Babylon the Great are talking about how you're looking for greener pastures and you want to go over there and try to live the American dream. This is exactly what you're doing. Rather than trusting in the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshai, you are going and trusting in the shadow of Egypt, trusting in the system, right? The kingdom that was set up to destroy you Israelites, and thinking that you'll be able to gain salvation from that, which is not the case, okay? So now Isaiah 30 verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were at Zoan, and his ambassadors come to Hyrcanus. Okay, that last part I didn't need to read it. And that's exactly what is happening right now. That's why you Latinos, right? Because I even forgot to mention that, right? The majority of Jakes that are always moving to Babylon the Great, talking about greener pastures, and even those that spend all that effort voting for Trump only just to be discarded, while the north was even the Northern Kingdom, right? And they voted for Donald Trump and they trusted in the shadow of Egypt, and now that trust is becoming their shame. That's why you Northern Kingdom Jakes are being deported. That's why you Northern Kingdom Jakes are being rounded up and even being thrown into prison right now. You have these Edomites running around looking for you Jakes out there, whether you're a legal citizen or not. They're just their focus is to get you out of America, Babylon the Great, and it just shows you that that just shows you that Egypt is not your salvation. And when I'm talking about Egypt, I'm talking about Babylon the Great, right? Spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt, spiritual spiritual, even spiritual Babylon as well, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, wherein our Lord was crucified. Okay, and so that of course refers to spiritually, because this is the nation in which all those Romans, all those the Romans that were in charge of our Lord's crucifixion, the Jakes that were there, right, or the Pharisees that were there, that were in charge of our Lord's crucifixion. And this is just me speaking as a man right now, but I believe that all those individuals are in Babylon the Great currently, right, in the reincarnation, of course, and that's just me speaking as a man. Okay, so back to what I was saying, and this idolatry that is being done, because that's exactly what it is, by comparing or putting our Donald Trump as some kind of false anointed. And let's get that. Let's start from there. Right. So this is the book of Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Right. So, of course, it wasn't, Trump himself that said, Oh, I am anointed, right? But it was somebody else that came and said that for him, that said, "Oh, this dude is definitely an anointed. This dude is, and man wrote a whole book. Okay, man wrote a whole book about how about that, and in the title you already see plain as day, Donald Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ, because this is how a lot of these supporters of Trump see him as, right? Whether they actually know it and can admit it or not, because a lot of you people out here in the world, subconsciously, especially if you are into that whole MAGA bullshit and into this whole American politics and they are supporting Trump, because aside from the fact that the vast majority of our people already worship Esau Edom, not worship God and JC as Edomites, right? But worship Esau Edom himself. You see the way that Jake acts when they are dealing with an Edomite versus when they are dealing with their own people, right? Even here in Nigeria, man. And that's that mindset, another mindset that that's the decision that the Most High has put upon the whole earth for Esau Edom. That's what they call that Edomite supremacy. That's what they call that Edomite privilege. All right, so let me end it right here. So with that, once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yawashai Ba'asham Racha Kwadash Wa Abad Babal Shalom.